we don't hear anything back from Secretary of State's office and issues arrive in Fulton County. And I don't know, I know our Secretary of State's not from Georgia, but if you were born and raised in Georgia, you're familiar with Fulton County and the history of elections. You know, Ms. Chairman, I appreciate your hard work and I appreciate your testimony.
May I make one more comment that I remembered I forgot to talk about? That was actually interesting. On Saturday at Jim Miller Park, speaking of our 99% audit on the signatures, dozens and dozens of signatures did not have the red initials that they had been actually approved before they started processing the ballots. And you all may not know the process, but what happens is the yellow outer envelope has the signature, your address, and that's what they check. When they look at it and they say, yep, that's Debbie Fisher, they put their red initials out to the side that says it's been looked at. Dozens on Saturday had no red initials. The problem is, once that is separated from that outer envelope, you got to count that ballot regardless. Okay? That's a problem. So the 99% audit that we heard about yesterday, I'm just going to say, we shouldn't have had dozens on Saturday that had not been looked at.
Thank you, Ms. Fisher. Okay, now we'll move on to Ms. Grubbs and Ms. Knox. And I think, did you have a slide presentation?
I do.
Okay, and how do we identify that?
I had given it says shred machine. I just gave it to the fellow outside.
Yeah, we have it.
Okay.
Okay, if you can go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I'm Susan Knox, and I'm from Cobb County. I'm a 10th generation Georgian. I'm a huge patriot, and I happened to be at Jim Miller Park on Friday, November the 20th, and I knew they were certifying the vote there that day, and I happened to be in the parking lot, and I just kind of wanted to see who was actually in the building that was going to certify the votes, and I pulled around the corner and I saw an A1 shredding and recycling machine. It was a huge box truck shredding ballots. I've got some pictures here that I could hand out for you all where, sorry to pull off.
Oh, there it's come up. Is that it?
Yes.
November the 20th, Friday morning. I'm watching all of these ballots being shredded now. Unbelievable. Let's just move up and let's see what else is going out. Yep, here we go. What are they shredding? Massive amounts of ballots right there going out.
What building is that?
Jim Miller Park.
Miller Park. Is that the building where ballots stored in that building? Is
Yes,
that
sir.
where the voting was
Yes,
occurring?
right outside where they, and I've got another video right after this that'll explain that.
Were you able to see what was being shredded?
Yes, sir. I have pictures, and you'll see now. It's the next one, please.
This is Susan Knox. I am in Cobb County.
It's actually,
Jim Miller
it says
Park.
trash can. There's two on the bottom that they put together
Friday
for me.
morning, November 20th. Here is a
It says trash can. There they are. It says shred on that box right there. And according to Janine Eveler, in a statement she made, there was absolutely nothing that was shredded that shouldn't have been. There were no ballots, and she made a statement. A1 Shredding and Recycling put a statement out on Saturday, November 21st, stating they were a family-owned business and that they did not mean to get in the mix of this, and that I think they had gone to the FBI or the GBI because there had been so much backlash after my videos went viral.
But you're in that trash can, those were ballots.
Yes, sir. I'd love to give you a close-up picture. You can pass these around.
Do you know who paid A1 Shredding?
I do not. But when Janine Eveler came out and said there was absolutely nothing that should not have been shredded, I would just like to ask her under oath what I saw shredded. And Sally Grubbs is coming up after me, and she came to Jim Miller Park and pulled in because she heard they were shredding ballots. She went straight up to the truck, almost blocked him in. He started pulling out. I called 911 twice. They did not come to Jim Miller Park. I called them. I have the recordings. If y'all wanted to listen to the recordings, I'm begging them to send a police or a sheriff, because I said, what is more important, that our presidential election, and they're shredding ballots at Jim Miller Park. They never showed up.
Mr. Chairman, I would just say that this should be very easy. If we're supposed to hold ballots for 22 months and we know X amount was voted on in Cobb County with absentee ballots, they should be able to produce that amount. If they can't, and it comes up minus 30,000, then 30,000 ballots were shredded. I mean, it should be very, very easy to find that information out.
Yeah, Senator.
Thank you for being here. Did you report it to the Secretary of State's office?
Sir, I reported it to anybody and everybody that would listen to me.
Did you get a response from the Secretary of State's office?
No.
Pretty common thing.
Sir?
It's pretty common.
Senator Rett?
Yes, ma'am. Usually ballots are under court seal for 2 years. Then after that, they're allowed to be shredded. Do you know anything about the date on those ballots, or if they've met that 2-year threshold?
Well, based on, I had been a monitor for 5 days there and have reams of videos of all the ballots coming and going and being stored and pulled back out and pulled into building the next hall, which was, I was in C. They were going from C to B and back. And so all I can tell you is that if you look closely on these, and that was a live shot, so you can hold your finger on my camera and it gets some surrounding things, which I can prove to you all. I can't help but believe that these were this election's ballots. I mean, why would they be shredding 2 years, and why would they be at Jim Miller Park? It's not secure, and it's not even a government facility, I don't believe. But I will tell you, when I called 911 twice and nobody showed up, and Sally and I ended up at the police station, precinct 2, and the person on the phone behind the wall told us that they were told 10 minutes earlier that they were not to do anything with election fraud or anything in Cobb County dealing with the election, that we had to go to the Secretary of State and to the GBI. And we did. And we got nothing.
Got nothing. Okay. Yes, Senator Heath.
Maybe in some of your videos, or do you have any photographs of actual ballots being shredded?
Well, what do you think those were in that can that he was shredding? It says an official ballot.
That appears to be the envelopes that are the inner envelopes from.
If you look closely, some of them look like they've never even been unsealed.
I was trying to find ballots in the picture, and I don't see ballots, and I was hoping
Could you bring that back up? I can show you in that trash can very closely. It says. right there, and I can tell you because I was there with my phone. And there's a picture with a plastic bag that says,
Yeah, this picture?
yes, sir.
Look, I'm not trying to discredit your testimony. I just don't see ballots. I just see envelopes here.
Sir, it says official. Do you not see where it says BALLO?
Yes, ma'am, and right below that it says ballot must be enclosed.
Okay, if they're supposed to keep anything for 22 months, why would they be shredding even the envelope? And I was told too that the people who were supposed to be opening these ballots were supposed to put their name, the time, and the date, and they were supposed to be kept for 22 months. I just find it suspect that the day that Cobb County is going to certify our election, that they had a shredding truck pull up at 10 after 11, and they were going to certify that afternoon. And they also put on the outside of the door, which I have video of, a fraudulent number to call for election. Any questions? It said Jim Miller Park is closed to the public. If you have election questions, please call. I called the number. It was an elderly white woman that slammed the phone down on me, and I called back and I said, ma'am, your number is on the outside of Jim Miller Park for election questions. She said, I have no idea who that is. Don't call me again, and slammed the phone down.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank
you
you
for being here.
Thank
I think
you.
Ms.
Good morning. I'd like to thank everyone for being here. My name is Sally Grubbs, Grubbs, and I'm from Marietta, Georgia. And Senator Redd, I'd like to make your acquaintance. I apologize I've not been able to connect with you. I think that we have some business in Cobb County that needs to be attended to. I came previously to testify and didn't make the cut list, but I will happily cede to Rudy Giuliani at any time. I do want to say that one citizen, one vote is what it should be. I was there for the recount at Jim Miller Park on the 13th. I saw a number of different things, and I've submitted 2 affidavits previously. I have them here if anyone would like to see them. But there's a recurring theme, and that is our Secretary of State's office. I was there when I got the phone call. I met Susan Knox, incidentally, on Friday the 13th. What a better day to meet someone when you're trying to ensure a presidential election is handled honestly, and it's not just the presidential election, it's all the down ballot votes that we have in Cobb County. We had a complete upset in Cobb County that I don't think was fair, honest, or very American, what's happened. There's lots of details that I can give you. I have lots of information here about how they sorted ballots. I have video that can be submitted. But one thing is becoming clear. It doesn't seem to matter how much evidence we present. We're going to get the questions. Were those actual ballots in there? First of all, in an election, they seal the boxes with evidence tape. And it's called evidence tape because those papers are evidence in the election. The envelopes are evidence, and anything written that goes in the evidence box is evidence. There should have been no shredding. In Cobb County, Georgia, Jim R. Miller Park is a fairground. They tore down our old exhibit halls and they built new exhibit halls. There's exhibit hall A, B, and C. They're all under one roof. When I went to go observe, I asked what was going on in exhibit hall B, and I was told, you don't need to stay in there. You don't need to go in there. There's nothing going on in there. You stay in exhibit hall C. And Exhibit Hall C during the recount is where they were sorting the absentee ballots into bins for rescanning. They were sorting the printed ballots for rescanning. I posted a video that has been shared quite a lot of, I'm standing 6 feet away and they're putting, Biden, 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 Trump, 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 supposedly. Don't know how they can even see what's written on the paper. I do wear glasses, but I couldn't even get close enough. They're a couple of feet away while we're having to stay 6 feet away, and we got scolded, we got yelled at, we got belittled, we got harassed. And after the shredding, when I was with Susan, now let me be clear, Jim Miller Park is not a government facility where they have the tax assessor, the tax commissioner, the tag office, and all of that. It is a state fairground or county fairground location. They're only using it because of COVID. So they're only using it for the election purposes. There is no other reason for there to be any other documentation at Jim Miller Park. If you go into Exhibit Hall A, B, and C, all you see is election stuff. I found out after the fact that in Exhibit Hall B, where I was not allowed, there were 2 days of voter review panel activity going on with no Republican representation at all. I was purposely told not to go in there. Y'all, I'm a businesswoman. I'm a mother of 2 wonderful boys. I am not an election specialist. I am a United States citizen, and I am here to see, and I participated because I want to be sure our vote is protected. And when somebody calls me and says they're shredding ballots, I left work. People thought somebody in my family died. That's how fast I left to go see what was going on. And Susan and I followed that shredding truck to see where it was going. I thought surely people care enough that when you're on the phone with 911, the police would come. The police didn't come. We go to the Cobb County Precinct on Austell Road to make a report. They wouldn't take a report. I made a report with the Secretary of State. I got an email from Francis Watson, and I was told, oh, that's routine shredding. Now, this is not the regular location of the Board of Elections. I just stood up here in the center and listened to the press conference with the GBI. Now, Vic Reynolds is from Cobb County, a very respectable man, but I've got to tell you that Gabe Sterling and Jordan Fuchs in the Secretary of State's office have done nothing but obstruct, belittle, and bemoan. And I have Facebook posts right here that I would be happy to share with someone. Facebook posts, what does that mean? Well, that means that anyone who keeps talking about election fraud, since it doesn't exist, that they are the same as people from Iran. That's what was posted. And so I got into a conversation about that. And this was the post. Gabe Sterling posted this. Iran has worked to foment division in our nation. Those continuing to claim the election was stolen are supporting the tactical actions of Iran. This is the state of Georgia. This is the city of Atlanta. And I want Mr. Sterling to answer for accusing people like me who have a job and children and families. I want him to come in here and explain to me how I'm like someone from Iran trying to steal an election. When we have seen the fraud, we have been lied to, we have been distracted, we've been held up, and we're tired of it. And it's time that you people stand up. And I have emailed legislators. We have formed a group called the Angry Patriots of Georgia, and you can tell I'm angry. I am tired of people that we vote to put in office are stabbing us in the back, and they're not doing anything to protect anything. We have begged for you to convene the legislature. We have had people come from out of state on their own dime. I've spent hundreds of my own dollars trying to get the point across. Susan has spent hundreds of her own dollars to get you people to listen, and I don't know what it's going to take. I, honest to God, don't know what it's going to take. Every legislator got a DocuSign document that people don't even bother to open. We are the citizens of this state. We deserve to be heard, and we are tired of it. How many people do we have to drag through here? I'm missing work right now. I missed work the last hearing, Senate hearing. We have begged to be heard, and I'm asking, are you hearing us yet? Is anyone hearing us yet? What do you need to know? I will tell you. Would you like to see my phone that I've backed up in 5 different places because I'm afraid someone's going to steal it and steal the evidence? And you know what? At Jim Miller Park, you can't take a phone in there now. If they're so lily white clean, as they say from the GBI, how come you can't even have a phone in there anymore? That screams fraud to me, and it's happening in the Senate election, and that election needs to be stopped until we have a better way to vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm passionate. I'm not going to apologize for being passionate. And I'm not going to apologize for being a patriot either.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Thank you. No, ma'am. I think what you said is something that's felt by many people across this state, hundreds of thousands of people. And I appreciate your time. I appreciate the fact, and the members of this committee appreciate the fact that you came and you waited the last time and that you took your time to come back today. So thank you for doing what you've done and for being willing to stand up and tell about what you've seen. So
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I appreciate it greatly.
all right, we're just going to take a quick 5-minute break. We have a few more witnesses, and we'll come back and we'll try to wrap it up. So.